So the markings on the inside of the bearing isn't rust because it just scratches off. And then on the face of the magnet where it was also just rubs off. Yep, so that's not water ingress or rust. What I have found out is, looking at the old inner seal, the dust cover cap type thing, it is all munted out with what I can assume is, if you look inside the bearing in there, well, you can't really see it, but there you go on my nail. Yep, at the top there is rubber, and the bearing has, so it rolls pretty nicely, but it has got play that way. I mean, it's very minimal, but it's got play that way. And I'll probably suggest that is due to that dodgy jack shaft also. Everybody seems to think it's my fault because I modified it just by making it better and solid. Even though everybody else has blew theirs up who had the same model. Anyway, and then if you look at the internal side, yeah, you can see all of the rubber in there. Now if you look on the sides of it, it is worse on one side than the other, which is also exactly the same as the jack shaft. Yep, all the same as the other, which would lean to be that the jack shaft was spinning off-centered one direction, and that's what's caused all of the excessive wear and caused my motor to actually want to give up the go. So yeah, there's a lot of people who think that having one bolt there originally and one bolt there originally is going to create an equal roll on the jack shaft of the centrifugal forces, but it's not. That is an imbalance. What I done was put one in every face, in every single one, so that means the same amount of material was removed all the way around, so it wasn't going to give it any kind of waffling up and down. And then I also drilled into the bottom surface like you meant to with the grub screw, so it seats into it instead of just sitting flat. I done all that, but I done all that while the whole jack shaft was secured how it came from the factory. I did not dismantle it to do that. So all I've done is make it exactly stiff and balanced it all out all the way around with the same weight, the same amount of tiny little grub screws that I even cut down by hand to make them all exactly the same, to give the jack shaft the best balance possible and the best chance possible of not twisting off and snapping like other people's have. And there's video evidence of that, and even the manufacturer of this jack shaft will tell you, if you ask him, that many people contacted him that they had twisted it off. So yes, correct. All I've done is stop the twisting, because if you think about it, if his jack shaft was made so well, when you slot in them pieces, there isn't any movement. It just fitted in really nicely, but obviously it wasn't a press fit. So when you slot that in, I pressed in the grub screws, and then I drilled out my part, so it was all fitted together before I'd done anything. So it shouldn't essentially have moved at all, because all I've done is fit it how it came and added extra to it. Then I took it apart I took out the bearings, I pressed in brand new fresh bearings to make sure there was no swarf in there. I cleaned everything out, and then I put it all back together exactly how it came from the factory, and it was running beautiful, it was smooth, it was nice. And it's only on fitting it that when you feel the vibrations. So yes, that is not caused by equally evening out the weight that the jackshaft has. That is caused by a poor product that has then essentially been made solid, so it can't waffle and come loose like everybody else's did. It stayed solid, and then that's transferred into my motor. Everybody else's either blew up, or all the faces on there like were actually flattened off to one side of the torque. Now, the manufacturer of this, I'd spoke to multiple times about it, and what he said was, oh yes, this has happened. He actually contacted me to tell me that someone had blew one up, and then I found out that a few more people had blew them up or twisted them off. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm running high power, so you best send me a new one. And he was like, oh no, it's only those with KO that. I'm like, mate, I'm running high power, I need a new one. And then he's like, oh no, it's only those with KO. Yeah, if it flogs out, I'll send you a new one. That should not have been an option, that if it flogs out, I'll send you a new one. They should all have been recalled, as they're absolutely dangerous. The fact that one of them is even blew up at 50 miles an hour, that could have killed someone. They should have all been recalled and not up for sale, and new ones given out, not, or if you nearly kill yourself, then I'll replace it. So everybody who thinks that I've got something bad against that guy is totally wrong, because I've supported him and I've spoken to him in the past, and I said his products are really great, and he should promote his own brand more instead of selling stuff to other companies. So I've had this guy's back for a while about getting him ahead. So I haven't got anything in for him, but it's come to the point where something that I've bought is absolutely dangerous, and for me to keep quiet about that, as the person that I am, I find that irresponsible. The fact that there might be people driving around with this jackshaft, and it could potentially cause serious injury. So yeah, if people think that I'm a bad person for letting people know what I've found out about this jackshaft, then I'm a bad person to you, and that's okay, as long as I might have potentially stopped someone from running this and potentially saved someone's life. So yeah, as it is now, because of what's happened, I bought brand new bearings, better ones than what comes stock. I have fully stripped my motor down, and I'm going to take off all the magnets, number them all, and then I'm going to fully Loctite them all in, because that'll give them extra strength, because when they get hot, that screw in the middle is where they will crack and shatter as they try to pull away. Now they are tapered on the sides, so that also helps the pulling force, but if the full thing is glued down with Loctite, obviously high temp Loctite, that's going to help the magnets want to stay together and pull away from the surface even more. And then I have bought proper, sorry, I'll go this one first, urethane seal coat. That is high temp, and my whole motor is going to get sprayed in that once I've cleaned it all out. That is basically a varnish, like a coating that stops any kind of rust entering the motor, although there wasn't any in mine as it is, because it was all just bearing seal. And then inside the side casing, you'll see that they're nice, immaculate, clean, shiny silver. Well, that is a problem. As you will know, anybody who knows a lot about heat conduction and heat refraction and heat disbursement, a reflective surface will reflect the heat back in. So what you really need is this to be black. So I am going to sandblast, well, media blast the internals there and heat paint that black. That will then stop the heat from the windings hitting the casing and then getting refracted back into the actual windings themselves. It will help absorb it into the actual motor casing itself and then disperse it over the sides, which my coolant fan will also help with the external disbursement of that. And then externally, I'll probably paint them a nice colour in some high temp heat instead of black. I'm not too sure, or I might stick with black. Just depends what I feel like. But yeah, so basically that's what's happening to my motor. It's all getting stripped down. I'm going on holiday for a little while, so I won't be back to actually testing anything out anytime soon. But yeah, I'm definitely going to strip it down, do it all properly, take all the phase wires off there and get everything cleaned up and coated, resealed, and then we'll see truly what the stock motor can do. Because at the moment my new battery is, well, it was running amazing. It pulled out extra 20 amps, set at a lower power rating than my light speed one, which is very good. My light speed one, that's held up for a long time and it has been great. So yeah, the light speed battery is a quality battery. So yeah, that's what's up. And then I've also got my jack shaft, and what's happening with that is I'm going to make my own greasable jack shaft, which I should have done in the first place instead of buying one like I have with the rest of my bike, thinking I was going to create a shortcut. So I'll be drilling it out. I got the smallest nipples I can because I don't really want to put too much imbalance into this solid jack shaft. That'll be getting blasted, grease nipples put in. I then have new bearings. They will get the covers taken off. These are Nachi bearings. These will get the covers taken off them. And then the next thing what you do is you get your dust covers, not like the ones that come with the AMX setup, where there is absolutely no place at all, no grease port for the grease to escape. So all you can do with that is compress grease into the jack shaft and force that to become a compressed cylinder, which is even worse from the bearings and everything to be turning in when they're all compressed, because there's nowhere for the grease to escape, as I even attempted that. So I will be drilling in holes in each of these square little ports so that when you re-grease it, the grease can actually come through and escape through the holes like you're meant to on a greasable item. It's not meant to be fully sealed because the grease itself keeps out the water. If you keep it greased, you keep out the water. That's how it works. Obviously he's not aware of that for some strange reason, and he's designing parts with grease nipples. Bizarre. And then I am running power grease. That is for motorcycles, high temperature, high speed grease. Penrite is an Australian brand renowned for quality grease. So yeah, that'll all be happening when I get back from holidays. And I've also got some sneaky stuff going on with the swing arm as well. But yeah, we'll keep that all under the radar for now until I actually get a chance to do it. But that's it for now on what's happened with my bearing issues in the jack shaft to it then causing the problems in my motor.